So I planned on dropping a video revisiting the Order 1886 today, but it's taking a bit of extra time because honestly I've just been playing so much Sifu and watching my brother play Sifu, so that video will be out on Tuesday. But in the meantime, I thought I'd drop a short video talking about this game that's taken over my life, specifically when it'll take over my life again. In a blog post that outlined developer Sloclap's tips for tackling the game, the final paragraph mentioned that they were already working on post-launch content and had exciting plans for free content updates. The company's community manager also added when talking to Gaming Bolt that the content would be single player since the team wanted to focus on creating an immersive and distinctive single player experience, citing that part of the reason for that was that they were a small independent studio with limited means. That definitely makes a lot of sense since the team's first game, Absolver, was multiplayer, and it kind of showed the cracks that presented themselves when a small team tries to navigate through so many variables and has to maintain the servers, and that would be even tougher with a game as popular as Sifu. Plus, Sifu's tightly designed levels and encounters are one of the absolute best things about it, so I'm more than happy that the team is sticking to just single player. As for a possible timeline or what these content updates could be, there's really not much to go on. Psych, I'm actually immediately wrong. Me from the future here. The day I recorded this, Steve Saylor, aka The Blind Gamer, talked about how some of the post-launch content will include accessibility options, including better captions, a high contrast mode, and difficulty options, both easier and harder, kind of like what Metroid Dread just did. So when you see me talk about a hardcore mode in a second, just know that that's something that is actually in the works, and also I'm basically psychic. But I will say that the wording sounds more like we'll be seeing new modes or twist on what already exists rather than brand new levels or bosses or even stories. That's still possible. I would love if, for example, every 6 months for the next couple of years we'd get a new level to run through with a new boss. That would be my absolute favorite outcome. But they specifically refer to the content as updates, not DLC, so I don't know how likely something like that is. Not to say it won't be DLC, just saying that they're being kind of careful with their words. If you wanted to do this, you'd also probably need to involve a new character for that, since it kind of looks like our main character's journey has nowhere else to go. And my brother actually suggested that it would be cool to play a prequel story for Yang, the final boss of the game. Quick spoilers for the final boss here. I'll put a short timestamp in the progress bar and give you a second to skip this if you haven't reached him. Okay, so basically because this boss has mainly the same moveset as you do, this would mean that mechanically the game wouldn't have to change much and the focus would just be on new levels. It would probably be the easiest way to add new levels both from a narrative and manageable mechanics perspective. But for my money, I hope that if they do make brand new levels that they give us a change to the moveset. It's asking a lot, but what I wouldn't give to be able to play a short 3-4 level campaign that rolled out slowly over the years playing as the artist boss with her crazy blade attacks. I'd love that. What's a bit more likely though is that the game will introduce new modes instead, but to be fair, that could also be really great depending on what they are. A hardcore mode where maybe you can't reduce your death counters through defeating the certain enemies in the main game, you can't use shortcuts, and you have to beat the whole thing in one run instead of having level checkpoints, could be a really interesting new challenge to bring players back. Alternatively, a gauntlet mode would be awesome, where it's wave-based and you have to see how far you can get. In my head, I see it set up as a mode where you start with no skills and you just build up your combo meter by fighting enemies, hopefully letting you get past the 5x multiplier and just running that up as high as you can, with the option to buy skills at the end of each wave with the score that you got. So you get fancier, you vary up your moves a little bit, you avoid taking damage, and you get a higher score and can buy more skills. Every once in a while, a wave might just be a boss from the game, and maybe there's a new final boss once you reach the end of the gauntlet. If they do a mode similar to this, I'd love to see new attacks that would maybe have been a bit overpowered for the base game, like double takedowns or super moves once you build up a meter. The fighting in Sifu is kind of arcade light, and making it more arcadey for a new mode would work great in my opinion. And they could also do a full side-scrolling mode. There's just so much potential here for future updates, and my only hope is that no matter what, they wind up being substantial. Introducing cosmetics would be nice, but I hope that's just part of a bigger update, like the gauntlet mode lets you unlock new outfits if you reach certain points. It would also be nice to have a few quality of life changes, iron out the very few bugs I found in my playthrough, tighten up the camera, etc. But I hope that we see some real new additions to the game as time goes on, because I have a feeling it has a lot more to offer. What do you guys want to see in a potential Sifu DLC or update? Is it anything that I listed? Is it something else? Let me know in the comments. Hope you guys are looking forward to that video on the Order. I'm also going to be making a video on Horizon sometime after it's released, so if you're new here, consider subscribing, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.